What is going on, everybody on YouTube? Steve here, Raking Profit over at RAIKENPROFIT.com, coming back to you with another video. And in today's video, we're going to be discussing how to make money thrifting old board games to sell on eBay and Amazon. So if you're just getting started selling on eBay and Amazon and you're looking for products that you want to buy and sell, one of my favorite items to buy and sell on a regular basis from thrift stores such as Goodwill, Salvation Army, Savers, garage sales, flea markets, Facebook Marketplace is board games. There's a lot of money to be made in board games, and I've been selling them for, I don't know, 5 or 6 years, and I've had quite a few really amazing scores. $4 fines flipping into 200. Just had an amazing find the other day. One of my favorite games, which I'm actually going to share with you in this video. I'm not going to give it away right now, which will probably sell between $150 and $200. So there's definitely really good money to be made with board games. And in this video, I'm going to share with you guys a bunch of board games that are selling that you can make money with. So I'm going to go into the comments and shout some people out. Looks like we got some people coming on in. What's going on? We got Mary McQueen in the house. What's going on, Mary? Good to see you. We've got Swift Seller. What's going on, Swift Seller? How are you doing? Let me know where you guys are from right now in the country. I'm coming to you guys live from Connecticut. What's up, Paul? We got Paul in the house. Hey, Steve, can't wait to see you next Tuesday. Yes, so we actually have a Connecticut thrifting meetup, which is going to be going down next Tuesday. So if you guys are in the area of Connecticut or Rhode Island, Massachusetts, anywhere, if you want to drive out 15 hours, that's great. It'll be an amazing experience for you. We're having a meetup in Connecticut. So if you go to Facebook, go to Connecticut Thrifting Meetup and join the group, and we've got some more details over there. Awesome. Swift Sellers from Ohio. We got North Carolina in the house, Los Angeles, Louisiana, Georgia. We got Canada coming live right now. So if you guys are excited about this video and you want to learn about some of the best board games to buy and sell on eBay and Amazon, smash that like button right now. And we're going to get into this video and we're going to cover a bunch of board games because board games can make you really good money. They're all over the place. You can get them cheap. They're easy to ship. They're easy to store. And they're in big demand. And another thing, if you ever find board games brand new, sealed, factory sealed, not opened, jackpot city all day long. There's so much money to be made with board games. I absolutely love them, and you should too. So I do want to say before we get into this video that I actually just released a guide. So if you guys are interested in learning more about this, there's a couple things you could do. Number one, you could watch this video for free. Number two, you can go into the eBay sold listings and you can study them all for 2, 3, 4 hours and just get acquainted with all the board games. There's so many. Or you could check out my newest guide. It's called Board Game Profits. I've got a link down below, but essentially it's a list of my top 97 board games. And for each board game, I share a picture of it, talk about the level of difficulty to find, average selling price, the year made, manufacturer. I talk about what I like to call a RAIKEN Profit Jackpot, which is like essentially the best thing to look for within that particular item, and a lot of good stuff. So you can check that out. There's a link down below. But with that being said, let's get into this video and let's start to go over some board games which have sold on eBay. So regardless if you get the guide, Board Game Profits, or whatever you decide to do, you've got to make sure that you get into the eBay sold listings and study. The more you know, the more you can grow. The more you study, the more lucky you're going to get when you go to thrift stores, when you go to garage sales, when you go to flea markets, because it's all about knowledge. The reselling game is all about knowledge, and you've got to be able to have that knowledge to then go out there and identify these items, because you might think to yourself, well, why do I need a guide? Why do I need to study the sold listings? If I see something interesting, I'll look it up. And that's true, but there's so many items out there. Your brain, your eyes, they're going to miss things. You're not going to see things. You're going to think you see it all, but you're not. You're going to miss things. And if you watch a lot of YouTube videos, a lot of times you'll see like the people who wear like the GoPros and like document them sourcing, they miss a bunch of things because you only know what you know, and other people are going to spot things that your eye doesn't see. So the more you educate yourself, the more you study the sold listings, the more you research and invest in guides in your education, the more you're gonna know when you're out there in the field. So There's so many board games that have sold. A lot of these I'm not even acquainted with. I'm still learning. I'm growing. There's hundreds, if not thousands of board games. But I want to share with you some that get me really excited that I have experience selling and some to definitely be on the lookout for. So I found this game the other day. It's called HeroQuest. And I'm going to click into this game right here. It looks like it's from like 1989 or 1990. But this game, if you have it complete, is selling anywhere between $150 and $200. Now, I just counted the pieces of my game, and it's missing like one or two pieces. So it's probably not going to sell for over $200, but this is just an example right here. There's like certain games that are really rare that if you come across, even if they're not complete, right? Some people say, oh, I can't buy a board game if it's not complete or if it's used. Well, there's certain board games out there, even if it's missing pieces or it's not complete, like sometimes just the pieces will sell alone. And this game right here, if you actually go to the sold listings and type in HeroQuest, people are selling the cards. People are selling the figures. Like this box, if you just found the box with everything missing, I bet you could sell the box for like $20 or $30. Certain things are just collectible. And this is a fine example right here of one of my favorite games to be on the lookout for. Now, I never found this game up until the other day. And funny story, I was actually garage sailing. And usually after like 10 or 11 o'clock, the garage sales start to die down. You don't, find as many profitable items. But literally it was 1:30 in the afternoon, and I was driving by a garage sale. I was literally doing a drive-by. I didn't even stop. And I was slowly creeping by just to see what was going on because the garage sale was really close to the curb. And I see HeroQuest just literally sticking out, and I couldn't freaking believe it. Like, it was absolutely insane. And I picked it up, $4 for HeroQuest. And just one of those items that, if you find it, it's one of those days where you go, you have a drink or you celebrate or take a nice bath, whatever it is you do. And you say to yourself, wow, that's amazing. So really crazy. Hustle Cache is saying cool guide. So it looks like Hustle Cache is interested in board game profits. Definitely a cool guide to check out. Hustle says, I just sold Friends Deluxe DVD game for $25 on Facebook. Awesome job, Hustle. Four-Eyed Hustler says, always adding value. Thanks, Steve. Hey, that's what this channel is all about. So much to go around. So let's keep going through some of these board games. Here's an interesting one right here. Tornado Rex. Tornado Rex. Now it looks like this sold for $45, but what I want to do is I want to go over to eBay and I want to see if these things are selling that much for that much consistently or not. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit sold listings and look what I said. Look what I was saying before. Some games, they don't even have to be complete. Like you can take the pieces out. Like this one piece from this game is selling for $10.95, which is pretty cool. $45 right here. Look at this. Vintage Tornado Rex, 100% complete. Some of these old games, Milton Bradley games, Parker Brothers games, some of these old games, like I'm not an expert when it comes to board games, but I know how to identify them. Like if they look like they're old from like the 70s, 80s, 90s, check all the pieces because even the ones that aren't that rare are selling for really good money. $199 on this item right here. Let's take a look at this board game. I want you guys to type a 1 in the comments if you've ever heard of this board game, Tornado Rex, or type a 2 if this is your first time ever hearing about it. This is one of those things where just by watching this video, you might recognize this when you're at a thrift store and be like, wait a second, Tornado Rex, that looks like something that Steve was talking about in one of the videos. So it is time consuming kind of going through and, making sure that the items are complete and whatnot, but it's so worth it when you could look at this thing. It's all beat up. It's taped up. $199 right here. So this was issued by Parker Brothers in 1991, 100% complete. Now I'm curious what this is selling for. I know you can't see me right now, but I'm looking it up on Amazon right now. Because sometimes board games, actually a lot of times board games will sell for more on Amazon. So I'm going to look this up. Tornado Rex board game. I want to see what's going on. So I found it, but it's a 1.6 million rank. So it's not selling very well. I actually noticed a lot of the vintage board games sell better on eBay. Whereas the newer board games, the sealed board games tend to sell quicker and for more profit on eBay. So that was cool. That was a cool little find right there. Wow. So look at all those twos. A lot of people didn't know about this game, right? Tornado Rex. You definitely want to be on the lookout for that. And in my guide, Board Game Profits, you're gonna learn about a lot of games that one. This guide's gonna piss a lot of people off, and I'm gonna tell you why. Number one, because it pissed me off a little bit when I created it. Pissed me off for one reason, because a lot of the games that were profitable that I researched and just based on my experience, I had missed and I had passed up on for years. Like there was one game in here. I'm not gonna spoil it, but there was one game in here that when I was doing my research, I didn't know about it. And I kept seeing it in the sold listings. I'm like, holy crap, this game's selling for 70 to 80 bucks consistently. And I just literally passed up on it like a week ago. So this is a really good guide, but it is going to annoy some people. It annoyed me just making it because I was like, holy crap, there's so many games that I passed up. Here's a game that might piss some of you guys off. I keep using that word. It might make some people angry because I passed up on this quite a few times early on in my reselling career. And this is a game that typically sells consistently for like 40 to 50 bucks on eBay. On Amazon, I've sold it upwards to 60 to $70. And I'm actually going to look it up right now. I want to see how much this is selling for on Amazon. But this is by Robert Kiyosaki, a very wealthy real estate investor. So actually on Amazon right now, I see this is selling for $77 new. I don't see any used offers right now. Anyways, Cashflow, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Cashflow 101. This is a board game you do not want to miss out on. You see this right here? Cashflow, okay, by Robert Kiyosaki. This game, you will find it at the thrift store. Now, actually, matter of fact, how long was this ago? Maybe 5 months ago. I wanted to smack somebody up. I actually became friends with the guy, but I was, I hate missing out on things like this because they're so rare. They're not like impossible to come across, but they're rare. But I went to a Savers in my hometown and I was going through the board games, and this reseller, this kid, he wasn't even like, he was somewhat new. It was cool because he actually had a plane that he was looking to sell. He was telling me about it, but he had this in his cart and I was like, oh my God, I can't believe it. It was like $3.99. But don't miss out on this. I want to know right now in the comments. Type a number 1 in the comments if you've known about this. Type a 2 if you never heard of Cashflow 101, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. I want to know how many people here know about it and how many people don't know about this game. Definitely one of my favorite games for sure. I want you guys to smash that like button if you're enjoying this so far. Board games are one of my favorite items to resell. Mary, Marvin, Neutron, the Nashville Flippers, Mina, MG knew about it. Deb, you guys didn't know about Cashflow? Oh, man. You guys, it's really easy to notice as well because it's really bright and pink. A great game right here. Even if it's not complete, you could sell off some of the pieces. This is a great game. This is like Monopoly on steroids. One of my favorite games. Let's keep going, guys. This is a lot of fun. All right. Okay, so there's a lot of board games here that we could talk about and mention, but I want to talk about ones that like I have experience with that I've flipped before. Wow, it looks like a cool game. 1989 vintage RoboCop. Wow, I just want to look that up because that actually looks interesting. 1989 RoboCop board game. Let's see if these things are selling on a regular basis. Let's go to sold listings. La-di-da-di-da. What are we working with? So I just see one that is sold. That was really cool. I just want to look that up. Okay. What is this right here? Now this looks interesting. This is weird. Vintage Tommy Mr. Mouth, 1976. Looks like it's sold or it took a best offer of $44.99. Mr. Mouth board game. I want to look that up. Mr. Mouth board game. Oops, spelled it wrong. That's just something that looks weird. Just curious if this is consistently selling. 35. Looks like there's a couple different versions of this Mr. Mouth right here. There's that one for 44, $12.95. I'm curious if this is selling on Amazon. I'm actually on my phone right now because sometimes these games will sell better on eBay. Some will sell better on Amazon. Okay, so I see it on Amazon. It requires approval to sell it, but there's only one seller at 80 bucks. So definitely an interesting game right there. This is how you guys do it. This is how you research and then you identify these things. The more you know, the more you grow. The more you research, man, the more you go mess up some thrift stores. There's another cash flow game that sold. Look at all these board games that are selling. Worthington Games, War and Peace, 2012, $55. Avalon Hill Squad Leader, Hollow Legions, first edition, 125. Carrier board game, $149.99. Now, this is a board game that I have been looking for a long time. I've never found this game before. I will find it eventually. I will promise you that. One day I will find one of these and I will make a video about it. But the board game is called Fireball Island. Okay, what I'm going to do is go into the sold listings. And I'm doing this because a lot of times you'll find something that sells once or twice and you're like, oh, well, it's worth that much. Not necessarily. You've got to research the sold listings to see if it's consistently selling. That's how you really get a good value. So I'm going to go down to sold listings and watch, guys, when you see how much this game is selling for. There's a couple different versions. Best offer under $250, $202.50. So there looks like there's some popular versions and then unpopular. This is the one you want to look for right here, 1986 Milton Bradley. Look, just the pieces alone, 16 bucks, 147 bucks, 169.99. You guys type a 1 in the comments if you've ever heard about Fireball Island. Type a 2 if this is your first time learning about it and now you're getting excited. And type a 3 if you have in the past sold this item or you found it at a thrift store. I'd be really curious. But this is one of those, wow, this is one of those games that I'm dying to find. I'm curious if there's any for sale new. I want to see if there's any new sealed ones right now. Or maybe some that sold in the past. I'm kind of curious what it sold for. I'm looking for that one version. I don't see any. Bet you it sold for like 800 bucks if it did. I don't see any at all. I don't see any. I want to find one. I want to see what they're selling for a new sealed. Nope, I don't see any at all. I'm gonna go over to Amazon right now and see what these things are selling for. Fireball Island board game. Okay, so 619,000 rank. Lowest offer is 385. I don't know. I would have to take a look at some Keepa charts to see what these things are selling for, but they're probably selling for 300 on Amazon. I would not be surprised whatsoever. All right. Going through some of the comments right now. Awesome. Yes. Oh, I have Junkman's asking about cranium. I've most certainly flipped craniums, usually brand new, sealed. There are some that sell for decent money used, but definitely, go into the sold listings and research them. All right, let's continue going through. We got a bunch of games here that are selling, guys. Look at all these board games that are selling. Look at this. Hotels, 1987. So as you notice, it's a lot of these old Milton Bradley when we're talking used, right? When we're talking brand new, 80% of the board games I find new sealed are worth like $20 plus. So board games are amazing to buy and sell, especially on Amazon with like zero knowledge. You don't need board game profits to sell brand new board games, right? All you got to do is have the Amazon seller app and scan them. But yeah, brand new board games are the way to go. But a lot of these older from the 80s and 90s board games, you need to learn them, because if you're at an estate sale or at a flea market or at a at a thrift store, you want to identify these things. You do not want to pass on them. 1987 hotel board game. Let's see if these things are consistently selling. 1987 hotel board game. All right. Look, even the pieces are selling as well. So hopefully you guys learned some good stuff in this video so far. The pieces do sell. 75 bucks, 59.99, 29.99. Look, here's just some pieces for 875, 42.74. Very nice. Look, just 4 red entrance steps inside the board game, 950. Imagine how cheap that would be to ship. Wow, that's definitely a cool board game to be on the lookout for sure. 1987 Hotels. Oh, okay. So this is a cool game right here. I've never come across this game. I learned about this probably, I don't know, 5 or 6 months ago. I've been on the lookout for it. 1994 Frady Cats. Let's open this up and take a look at Frady Cats. This is a cool game right here. 1984 Frady Cats. I'm going to scan this right now with my phone. I want to see what this is selling for on Amazon right now. So it's a 907,000 rank on Amazon. Lowest is 77. No FBA sellers. I bet you've put this up for $79.99, $89.99. It would sell. So definitely a good opportunity as well. A tip I want to give you guys: if you can source used board games on eBay, 100% complete. Now, granted, it's going to take some effort because you're going to have to verify that they're complete when you get them, but you can flip them from eBay to Amazon because there's a big difference in price from eBay to Amazon on certain games. So like if you were to get this game, for example, complete, shipped for $30, if you sold it for $79.99, you'd make about $30 profit. Now it'll probably be a little bit of a slower seller, and I'd have to research the Keepa charts to make sure it was a smart decision. But definitely some good online arbitrage opportunities as well if you have more capital than time. Maybe you work a full-time job, you don't have time to go to thrift stores and garage sales all the time. You can source online, source off of eBay. Obviously there's some work that goes into verifying it and spending time finding them. But one thing that I've been working on lately is I've actually been working with a virtual assistant. I have a whole list of items that I source off of eBay that I then flip on Amazon FBA. And there was actually a really good toy that I actually just sold yesterday. I'm not going to share it right now because I don't want you guys to steal it, because if I share it, all it takes is one person to do it and then I'm screwed. But it's a brand new toy that I purchase on eBay for anywhere. I'll pay upwards to $45 and I flip it for usually between $99 and $119.99. It's a 2002 toy and it's been flipping really well, usually about 1 or 2 a week. So that's just one toy. Like there's hundreds and thousands of board games, toys, electronic games that you can buy off of eBay to then flip on Amazon FBA. You just got to make sure that you're not restricted on that item. So one thing I like to do is I like to scan the items with my Amazon seller app to make sure I'm not restricted before I flip. So hopefully that's a cool little tip that can help you guys out. Kenny L says, love reselling. Get to go to garage sales all the time here in Florida. How often are garage sales in Florida? Are they only on the weekends? Four-Eyed Hustler says, eBay to Amazon flip. Need to try that for sure. Takes more capital, takes more risk tolerance, but definitely a great way to leverage your capital. Deep into the sandbox says, I have a wall of worthless games. Hey, if they're complete, they might not be worthless. Rudy says, Ron LeGrand's quick turn real estate investing board game. Is that something that's a real thing? Let me look that up. Let's go over here. All right. Oh, that is a real thing. I never saw that before. Really cool. Look at that. New. $99.95. Actually, this one sold for $39.99 new, and then this one sold for $99. I wonder what this is selling for on Amazon. Let's see. Ron LeGrand real estate. Board game. That's what I love about these videos. So there's no sellers on Amazon right now, and it's a 2 million rank with no reviews. But I bet if you put one up, it would sell. Have to definitely take a look at the Keepa charts. All right, let's keep looking. So many board games. Lattice, $44.99 used. So many board games, guys. So many board games. I'm looking for some that I actually have experience with. So a great board game to be on the lookout for is Risk. Okay. Now keep in mind when you're selling board games on Amazon, you've got that heavily discounted shipping rate into the warehouses. You can find certain games that will only be profitable on Amazon and won't be profitable on eBay, because on eBay, it's going to be very, very expensive to ship. So just keep that in mind. But there's so many different Risk games. I actually just sourced a a Risk. Was it the 40th edition Risk, the silver box, and new sealed. That should be going for probably about, I don't know, $200 to $300. That'll be a great sale. Mall Madness, $49.95. This is actually one of those board games that I wish I would have known sooner, because I had passed up on this on a garage sale about 2 years ago. And a lot of times you can get these things for $1 or $2. Let's check it out right now. Mall Madness board game. Yeah, board games are definitely where it's at. It's one of those things that it's not like you're never going to talk to somebody and they're going to be like, yeah, I'm a full-time board game seller. No, board games are one of those tools in your toolbox, right? One of those accessories, one of those things, those profit maximizers that are a part of your reselling business. So if you're reselling now and you're making $2,000 a month, you're selling on eBay and Amazon, you can easily put a couple $100, upwards to $500 to $600 a month addition onto your top line revenue, if not profit, just by adding board games into the mix. If you're going to thrift stores and garage sales, board games all day long. Used, new especially, but used. As you can see, there's plenty of used board games that are selling for really good profits. So $69.99, $39. Again, if it's complete, you're probably going to double your profit. So count the pieces, make sure it's complete. If you don't count the pieces and you don't make sure it's complete, a couple things are going to happen. Number one, it's not going to sell for as much. And number two, you're going to get refunds. And number three, you're going to get negative feedback. So just remember, guys, when you're dealing with board games, the first thing you want to look for is brand new sealed. Those are the best. Number two, you want to make sure they're complete. Number three, if they're not complete, you've got to be open, you've got to be transparent, and you've got to share that in your listing. Don't forget, certain board games are very profitable, even if they're not complete, because you could sell off the pieces. So do your research. Definitely do your research. Look, this is just I don't even think this is complete. There's just some pieces that sold for $32.50 right here. Look at the money. The money sold for $10. Well, it was a best offer, but $4 just for the money. So maybe you do like estate cleanouts and you find a board game like this and you're not sure if it's complete or not. You could either list it or you could part out the pieces. Definitely some good money right there. Looks like there's a couple different versions of Mall Madness. I'm going to go into the comments, see if there's any questions going on right now. Nashville Flipper says, Rake and Profit, dropping that knowledge. I've already bought the book. That's awesome. So for the people who are coming in right now, I actually just released a new guide. It's called Board Game Profits. This took many, many hours and days to put together. And this is a guide that's revealing 97 of the top board games that you can actually sell on eBay and on Amazon. So this is much more than just a list. It's actually available for pre-order right now, 50% off. So this week it's 50% off. You can get it for $18.50. And then at the end of the week, it's going to go up to $37. This is a guide that I created not only for my virtual assistants, but for you guys as well, to go out there and you could source these things off eBay and flip if they're complete. You can source from thrift stores and garage sales, but it's much more than a list. Again, there's pictures of each item, difficulty to find, average selling price, year made, manufacturer, rake and profit jackpot. Definitely a great resource. And for $18.50, it's almost a no-brainer. All you got to do is find one of these items in there. If you're new, you don't have the funds, that's cool. What I recommend you do is do exactly what I'm doing right now. Go into the sold listings. There's no excuse. I don't care who you are. It makes me so upset sometimes when people are like, well, I don't have the knowledge. I can't do it. Like, I don't have money for a guide. Don't buy the guide. Go into the sold listings and study. If you have more time than money, spend the 5 to 10 to 12 to 13 hours studying and reading and writing down lists and going out and spend a couple months making mistakes and learning what works and what doesn't, and go out and do it. There's no excuse. You don't need a guide. What you need is to spend time either reading a guide or going through the sold listings or doing whatever it is. But you got to get out there. There's too many people who are lazy. There's so much money to be made in board games. Like, I can't believe it. I went out to a freaking garage sale at 1:30 on a Saturday, and freaking HeroQuest is sitting out there. HeroQuest at 1:30 is sitting out at a garage sale. Like, it should not happen in America. There's too many people complaining about money. Oh, I don't have enough money. There's a freaking HeroQuest sitting out in a garage sale at 1:30. That's just insane. It's just nuts. It blows my mind. Get out there and get it. Oh, here's a couple cool board games that I've flipped before. Here's a really good one right here. This is Pokemon Masters Training board game. Now, this is a hard board game to find complete. A lot of times I've noticed these are incomplete. I think I only found this complete once, but this is a great game to flip, especially on Amazon. Right now on Amazon, it's going for, let me double check, Pokemon Master Trainer. Let's see what's it's going for. Board game. So on Amazon, this is selling for so on Amazon, if you have this new sealed, it's selling for $284 with a 200,000 rank. That thing's selling. Collectible, $149. Matter of fact, I'm going to share with you guys a good eBay to Amazon flip. Okay, find this game and flip it on Amazon. Let's see if we can find one right now. Maybe someone will be able to buy it. Let's see if it's complete. That's the hard part though. Pokemon Master Trainer 1999 board game. Let's see if we could find one at a decent price. Complete. Okay. It's actually cool. So it looks like this one. Oh, it's 99% complete. That's 80. Missing one pink chip. So 60. I don't want to pay that much. Anyways. What's this? Is this complete? $50, $59. Let's just pretend it was complete though. Like, but if you could find this game for like $60, you could probably flip it for like $120 on Amazon. And if you were to do that, if you were to pay $60 for that complete out the door and flip it on Amazon for $120, you make about $30 profit. So that may or may not be worth it for you, but there's opportunities from eBay to Amazon flips all day long. But really the best ones is going to the garage sale. You know what pisses me off? Some guy actually had this the other day. He was walking out of a garage sale. I don't know if it was complete. I don't know how many were missing. I know it wasn't new. It was used. But I saw a guy walking out of a garage sale with this, and I was like, crap. You guys, that ever happened to you where you go to a garage sale and you're walking in and you see like somebody walking out with something that you really want and you're like, darn it, if I was there like 5 minutes before, I would have definitely had that item. It happens though. It's definitely part of the game. Commonwealth Picker says, I bought my HeroQuest at a church yard sale at 10 a.m., 4 hours after the sale started. Most people just don't know or take the time to learn board games. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Amen. Thank you so much, Commonwealth. Most people don't take the time to learn board games. Like, I understand you don't want to learn clothing. You don't want to learn shoes. Clothing's a pain in the butt. Great opportunity. That's how I had my come up selling clothing. But there's certain items that are kind of like a pain in the butt, like antiques, dealing with like jewelry, certain outdoor sporting stuff, like big, heavy stuff, electronics. Like, I get it if you don't want to mess with it. But board games, books, people who don't mess with board games and books, I feel like there's such easy items to find and analyze and sell. That's why I created this guide, Board Game Profits, because I want to educate people, right? And here's the sad thing too. This is the sad thing about guides, right? A lot of people are like, well, why would you put out a guide? You know, it's going to ruin the market. Here's the sad part. I'm going to tell you guys a sad thing. Most people won't even finish the guide. They'll read like the first 5 pages and give up. Or they'll read the guide and then they won't apply it. Hopefully somebody goes through the guide and applies it and it changes their life. You know, we created a guide. It was called Toy Brand Profits. And my friend Vinny actually helped me create it. He's a full-time toy seller. And we had gotten probably like a good 5 or 10 messages from people writing like long paragraphs talking about how it changed their life. That's all about toys. That's a different guide. You can learn about that at RAIKENPROFIT.com/toys. But it's amazing when people actually go out there and apply it. But yeah, the sad part is, just like Commonwealth Picker said, most people just aren't going to take the time to learn. Deep into the sandbox says, I have a pile of killer bunnies here. I got mad at how long it took to sort. I don't remember if I listed it. Well, you better go ahead and check. Rudy says 2 days a week, I will usually schedule or go through 10 thrift stores and Goodwills combined each day. I will average 3 to 4 50+ items per trip. Then I spend Saturdays on garage sales. There you go. That's the way to do it. Nashville Flipper says, I'm going to for sure read the guide. Definitely do it. Read the guide and then spend more time in the sold listings as well. All right, so here's another cool game to be on the lookout for right here. It's called Splat. 1990. This game definitely sells well. Let's see how it's doing. I haven't sold this game in probably like 9 months. 1990 Splat. I want to see how it's selling. Now, if it's complete, I know it sells well because I sold mine complete. I thought I sold mine for like 50 or 60. Oh, here's one for $49.99. If you take really good pictures and you show all the pieces and you take, 10 or 12 pictures, you'll get more money. Like some of these guys are only getting like 20 or 30 bucks because they're taking poor pictures and it's not complete. Look at this. One piece from Splat, $15.95. Absolutely amazing. Yeah, so this one, 50 plus 1480 comes with like 6480. Yeah, these are selling. Splat is a great game to be on the lookout for. Type a 1 in the comments if you've ever sold Splat. Type 2 if this is the first time learning about Splat. I'm so angry that that person took this at the garage sale. That's really good money. So as you can see, there are so many board games, guys. We could go on for days. This is a great one right here. I love selling The Office. This is actually Clue, The Office, but Office board games sell extremely well. I'm going to leave you guys off with this last tip because I actually got to get going. But The Office, the TV show, look out for board games. There's a couple different versions out there. If you find them brand new, you're probably looking at $100 to $200, depending on what version it is. But I absolutely love selling The Office board games. They sell really well. Also, another board game to look out for is any Donald Trump board games. He has one really popular one. I think that's selling for like 50 or 60 right now. That's another great board game. But yeah, there's definitely good money to be made in board games. Type in board games into the eBay sold listings and study them. If a lot of these board games I'm sharing with you are pretty basic board games, a couple were really rare, but you should know about these. Go through and study the sold listings. There are hundreds of thousands of board games that can make you money. So definitely check it out. Also, again, this week, only 50% off my brand new guide, Board Game Profits. My team and I, we put a lot of hard work into researching and bringing our experience and putting it into this guide. And I think you're really going to enjoy that. So if you go to RAIKENPROFIT.com/boardgameprofits, there's a link down below. You can get it 50% off until I believe next Tuesday. It's going to go back up to 37. So you get it for $18.50. The book's going to be released on June 18th. So in like 5 or 6 days, we're going to launch it. Right now is the pre-order. And I think you guys are really going to enjoy it. We put a lot of hard work into it. And all you really got to do is find one thing in there to get your money back. And it can save you a good 5, 10, 15 hours of research. So if your time is worth more than, I would say, $2 an hour, because it's definitely going to take you at least 5 hours of research to put everything together, but most likely probably a good 20 or 30 hours of research to put together what I've accumulated for you guys in this guide. If your time is worth more than a couple bucks an hour, definitely check out the guide. We've made it easy to digest. We put everything into one place. You have it forever. You have it on your phone. You can download it right to your phone. You can take it to the thrift store with you. So definitely check it out. Links are down below in the description. But just want to thank everybody. 4-Eyed Hustler says, word, invest in yourself too. That's what it's all about. So if you guys enjoyed this video, do us a big favor and smash that like button down below. I appreciate you guys. Thrift B says the guide is money. It's going to make you money. That's for sure. So I appreciate you guys. Go out there, make it happen. If you guys find any awesome board games, go on to Instagram and send me a DM at Rake and Profit and send me a picture of you holding the board game and let me know what you paid for it and what you plan on selling it for. So with that being said, smash that like button, keep up making money, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.